views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open, the show that brings up the Bronx and the world. We got you covered. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and we've got a great, fantastic show lined up for you today. Now, coming up, evictions are rising across New York State, and we'll have tips on how you can avoid it and what you can do if you are facing problems paying for your home. All that and some more, because this is this young lady that came in, and she comes all the time. She's no stranger to the show. She's going to lay all that out for you. Plus, if you live in New York City, it's not too late to sign up for health care. We'll have the details on getting covered. After that, our cameras went out for an in-depth interview with a young Bronx entrepreneur, and we'll give you the inside look at his business and creative outlook. And then my man Bobby C, he has the latest on the headlines and sports and all that stuff. It's going to be a productive day, and Bob has all that lined up for you. Later on, we'll bring in the new year with a look at Bikram Yoga right here in our borough. Stay tuned. All this and more is headed your way because we're now open. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. Happy New Year. And I know you got your New Year's resolutions set. If you don't worry about a thing. If you want to keep things the same, because you've been doing well, if you want to make changes, this is the time to focus on that. You're watching Open, the live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set, so you can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, renters across the country are losing their homes daily. Joining us with all the information on eviction and tips on avoiding it, on how you can handle it, we have Gail Allen. She's helped me out with a lot of different things, too. She's with No Fico Score Group. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you,
Happy
and
New
Happy
Year
New Year to
Yeah.
you. It's good to be here.
Are you still trying to get over it?
Yeah, well, I think we both are.
Yeah. And thank you for coming to the Make the Great Awards.
Oh, Make the Great Awards was wonderful. I enjoyed the music. The people were wonderful. The food was delicious.
Oh, thank you.
Had a nice time.
Yeah, we do it every year.
Yeah.
We are dealing with the youngsters.
Oh, I think it's a
helping
great
youngsters
program.
get what they need out of life.
Absolutely.
And what we do, the Make the Grade, it's a collaboration between parent, teacher, student, community, clergy. We have financial literacy and health. So we raise money for all those things.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah. So what do we have? People are getting evicted all over the place. What's going on? What's happening?
Well, we have an economy that no longer is supporting home ownership. The problem is job loss. We have retailers that are closing down.
Lord and Taylor's just closed down.
Yeah, just Lord and Taylor. Can you believe it? I wanted to cry, and because I didn't get down there to catch the sale.
Yeah.
But the point is that people are being laid off, and you've got, of course, cyber shopping is really big now.
Is that the situation? People are going?
That's one reason for retailers not being able to pay to keep employees on the floor. And oftentimes when you go to a department store, you look around, can someone help me, please? Because you feel like you're the only one there in that department.
Right.
There aren't enough people there to help. Also because...
So people have more confidence in online shopping now. But what about the higher end things? You don't want to shop for that online, do you? But I did see something where you put a coin in a slot machine and this car comes up. You can, it's like putting a coin in to get potato chips out of a machine. Well, you can go online and shop for a car now, and they send you this coin, and you go to a location, you put the coin in, and the car comes up.
I mean, you're proving my point exactly. What about the robots? I mean,
Yeah,
you're speaking now of the salesman who would really make a career out of selling the car, right?
Yeah,
He's no longer around.
Wow, we need to speak to a person, though.
Absolutely. I would want to. If I'm spending that kind of money, I would like to speak with someone.
Absolutely.
But people are losing jobs, okay? the economy is uneven. Now, but look at the stock market last week. It was up, it was down, it's all over the place. And part of that is due to the type of leadership we have in Washington right now. And I was just discussing this with someone. Today is our first day of the new Congress.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to a change.
Do you think with Nancy Pelosi in charge of the House, that things would change a little bit?
I think Nancy...
Or be better checks and balances?
I think Nancy Pelosi is exactly what we need. I think she's going to be a great Speaker of the House. And I think we're going to see leadership in Washington for a change.
Yeah.
For example, the SALT law, you know, that limits the amount of money that you can write off for your taxes for real estate to $10,000. So if you are a small investor, you've got 3 or 4 pieces of property, and this property is $7,000, another is $8,000, you can only write off $10,000. What is that going to do to the real estate market? Yeah. Okay, we're going to have a tsunami of foreclosures. And so when you stay in a house after you've been foreclosed on, what happens? You become evicted. All right, so you're no different than a renter. So we've got to change all of that. And I think the way we change that is by looking at the programs. How do we buy homes? Yeah. You know, what rules and regulations are we going to keep? Should it be so difficult to lower your interest rate? You know, should someone really pay 9-8% to own a property? Or should it just be maybe 3-5%? We've got to reevaluate our whole system of selling and buying real estate, because without real estate, we don't have a middle class.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
And then I don't know, I was thinking when you were saying that, the interest rates on a lot of these homes, and not only homes, but credit cards. I was looking through some things, and I saw one as high as 27%.
Can you believe that?
That's low and shocking.
That's a nosebleed.
What the heck is going on?
It's a nosebleed.
It is.
Yeah, but interest rates in real estate are going up.
Yeah.
We're looking at rising rates, and that's another reason why people are losing their homes. And landlords are losing buildings, and so when landlord loses a building, eventually the tenants must leave. So it's an effect that trickles down to everyone.
So you said this is not an economy that's conducive for people to keep their houses? Or? It's not a housing market?
Well, you know, it's a housing market that we have right now. You best believe 2019 is going to be for buyers, because
It'll be a buyer's market.
Yeah, it'll be a buyer's market for investors and first-time home buyers. All right, because there's a lot of shadow inventory out on the market now, where you have banks who are foreclosing on property, evicting people, and not being able to sell that property at the sheriff's sale.
The banks don't want that. The banks.
Well, they want payment.
They want the money.
They don't want the money.
They don't want the properties.
Right. But if you put too much of the inventory out on the market, it starts competing with the newer homes and your regular market. So they try to hold it back, but eventually you've got to let it go. And when they do let it go, prices will continue to go down. But again, I'm hoping that Nancy Pelosi revisits the loan modification problem that we have, where people, if you're making $200,000 a year, oh, what a great time you're having, okay? And then you lose that job. How difficult is it to replace that income?
Yeah,
it's very difficult in this market. And so you're going to fall. After you go through your savings, there's nothing to help you. We should have programs in place to help the homeowner keep the property.
Yeah.
You know, we should do something about the minimum wage. $15. People are still fighting for a $15 raise. You know, what can you really do with $15 an hour?
Yeah.
Not very much. And how many hours can an individual work to take care of and support their family? So if you're out there and you're listening and you have a problem with evictions, you went Christmas shopping, because that happens too.
Now it's time to pay all that stuff back.
Yeah,
right?
well, overspending.
It's January.
But there are agencies out there that can help.
Okay.
And you can visit my website, askgail@gmail.com.
I'm going to come to you for a loan.
Come to me.
A low interest.
Absolutely.
Is it 3%? Can I get 3%?
3%? No, you can't get 3%.
Can you get 4%?
anymore. You may be able to get 4% if you do an adjustable interest rate, you know,
Okay.
an ARM, you know. But
So it's 3% or 4% for a certain period of time, like for 5
see,
years,
well,
and then after that.
Again, we should do something about that.
Yeah.
I mean, as a society, we should not allow bankers to dictate to us what the interest rates are going to be. 6-month LIBOR, okay, sounds great, 4%. Okay, in 6 months it can go to what, 5%. Another 6 months, 6%. And it can go up as much as maybe 8 points. So before you know it, you could be at 14%. It depends on what happens to the market and the index that your interest rate is tied into.
Yeah.
As a people, Americans should take more control of how they buy and sell real estate.
Now you got to be careful because if you get a card, if you get a credit card, and you have a low interest credit card, or they give you a low interest loan, you can get into trouble if you start paying late on that because that thing will shoot up to loan sharking territory.
Absolutely, absolutely. The best way to handle a credit card, though, is if you have a ceiling, a $10,000 ceiling, keep a 50% loan to value. So only go no further than $5,000 on that $10,000 card with because this way you keep your credit, you score higher, and you really don't have to worry about your interest rate escalate. Again, who has control over your interest rate? You don't. We don't. Banks do. You see?
So what do you recommend?
So what do I recommend? I recommend that we have some type of legislation that basically says, hey, we, as individual taxpayers and consumers, we want control of the interest rates that we pay. We want input at least, and not to just be victims laid back and be told what, Mr. Lee, Dr. Lee, your interest rate's going to be 7% because 5 years ago you had this incident. 5 years ago you were a different person. What are you talking about? That's what I think should happen. I think people like Nancy Pelosi that's showing leadership with the Democratic Party, I believe we're going to see a stronger, better America. People are going to be more excited about waving the flag for everyone. Everyone.
But it can get through the House, but it can get stuck in the Senate or on the president's desk.
Well, you know what? We can work that out too. One day at a time. Today's a great day. A new Congress. One day at a time. God is good.
All the time.
Yes.
Okay. So where do we go for more tips?
Hey, you can call me at 973-389-3347 if you have a problem with your mortgage and you're looking at the possibility of requesting a loan modification, but you don't know what to do, you don't know how to start. I have a free loan modification guide on my website that you can actually download, and you can see your numbers, and you can say, oh, I'm spending too much here. Maybe I should spend less. And you can do that by going to askgail@gmail.com.
Oh, we're going to continue asking. Thank you so much for all this great information.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank
and
you.
Hopefully everything will.
Oh, we've
up and up.
got a great country.
I've done some things too. I took your advice and I'm going to go and.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Let me know how you make out.
I got some extra money that I want to mess around with.
Oh really? Give us a call.
Gail Allen, No FICO Score Group, LLC. Give her a big round of applause, everybody.
Thank you.
Here in the studio and at home. We'll take a break and come back with more next.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at bronxnet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. If you do not have health coverage and you live in New York City, it's not too late to sign up. We spoke with community health workers for information on coverage. Let's take a look. And welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. Our next guest joins us with a whole lot of information on enrollment for health care for the year 2019. Make sure you get covered. We want to get you covered like a blanket. We welcome Marjorie A. Kajigan, and she's the board of directors, and Patricia Bernard, the community health worker at the Bronx Community Health Network. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you very much.
You like that? Get you covered like a blanket.
Yeah,
We use it all the time.
we're going to steal that from you. We're going to steal it.
Yeah. But then you got to make me some blankets so I can go around and cover people.
Okay. We'll have the BCHN blankets.
There you go. All right. So tell us, what do you have? Tell us
Well-
about some of the wonderful things that you're doing.
Well, BCHN is a wonderful organization in the Bronx. We're an innovative nonprofit that provides quality health care for Bronx residents all over the borough. We are federally funded and we operate 21 health centers. And beyond providing health care, we also provide a state-of-the-art community health and wellness program, of which Patricia is a part. And we really try to meet not only healthcare needs, but a lot of the other social and local needs that really make living well possible.
And that's important.
Yeah,
Especially here in the Bronx, you hear you hear about the statistics about people not eating healthy, not living right. And they said this is one of the places that's downhill in that category.
Well, unfortunately, we don't rank very well in terms of health statistics, but organizations like BCHN are really working hard to address that and to change that picture for the Bronx. And one of the things that is important for us to have people know, and that Patricia will talk about, is the work we do with health insurance enrollment. We really want to make sure that Bronx residents know that even beyond December 15th, they can get health insurance.
Yeah, now, wait a minute. Because it's been all over the place that this is the last day for this and last day for that, but it goes beyond.
Yeah, well, because we, New York State, operate an independent exchange.
Gotcha.
New York State extends the open enrollment period to the end of January.
Why don't they say that?
Well,
because then everybody says, all right, I lost my chance.
I mean, I think that New York State says that. I just think that there's a lot of confusion with the other states, and people kind of cannot make the difference.
Maybe they just generalize it.
They generalize
this is the last
it. Correct.
day for enrollment.
In most states.
That's what you hear all over the place.
Correct.
This is the last day for enrollment.
And
but
that,
it's extended here.
Yes.
Yeah, that really is the deadline for the federal exchange, and many states are on that exchange. But we benefit from having our own.
Correct.
Got it.
So we want to remind all the viewers that if they still need to enroll into the marketplace, they can give us a call. They can call us at 929-220-8181, and we'll be happy to facilitate the enrollment for them.
Now, what has been cut out of it? They've been trying to cut the programs and all this stuff for many years now.
Yeah.
So I'll take a stab at that
Sure,
and I'll
go
let you go.
ahead.
They've been trying to, with the new administration, they've been trying to cut a lot of things and kind of repeal Obamacare. They're still working on that, obviously. This weekend, one judge in Texas actually struck Obamacare as being unconstitutional, and so that also creates a lot of
Supreme Court.
Correct,
Yeah.
but that's also creating a lot of confusion. But what we're here to say is that even if that is upheld, it's going to take a really long time. It has to go through a whole bunch of circuits. It has to go to the Supreme Court, and so for now, if people need insurance, they need to just continue enrolling. It provides services, and that's what they need to do.
And it still
for
covers pre-existing.
Absolutely.
Talk about it.
The Affordable Care Act is the law of the land. That's what people need to know. Nothing has changed, even with the court decision. As Patricia said, it's going to be a number of appeals before that has any impact on the operation of the law. And again, we have a wonderful platform in New York State with lots of different programs that are available for folks of variety of incomes, and folks just need to come and get it.
If it does change, how does that affect you guys?
Well, that's a good question.
I don't know if you thought about it.
I think if it does change, it makes our work even more important.
Yeah.
Because
That's
one, we
great.
have to see how it changes, what that means for the folks in the Bronx community, and then being able to translate and communicate that and educate folks about what still will be available to them and the things that they need to make decisions about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I would say is that also once we know how it will affect them, then it'll be up to BCHN and other organizations like us to find a way to kind of fill the gap in whatever way is possible.
So talk to our wonderful audience. You guys can take this camera right here and let them know that the deadline is not today or yesterday. It didn't pass. You can still register.
Absolutely. So, members of the Boogie Down Bronx, know that December 15th is not your deadline. Your deadline is January 31st to get the kind of quality insurance and health care that's available to you in the Bronx. BCHN can help you. Our community health and wellness program with folks like Patricia are out there working to connect you to the kind of coverage and care that you deserve. So please be in contact with us. And as I said, come and get it.
And call us. I'll just give the number again. It's 929-220-8181.
So you did not miss the deadline.
No,
You did not. You did not. You did not.
All right.
Not at
Where
all.
can we go for more information?
www.bchnhealth.org.
Yay.
Say it again.
www.bchnhealth.org.
Marjorie, Patricia, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You guys are doing great. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in the community. We love your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we have to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next.
Hi, I'm David Lesh, legal correspondent to the morning show Open. If you have a legal question that you'd like me to answer, please send me an email at davidlesh@bronxnet.org, and I will address it on our Ask Your Lawyer segment.
And welcome back. The Bronx native has used his home borough as inspiration and a creative outlet to grow his business. Darissa White paid a visit to the South Bronx location. Let's take a look.
No, Popeyes.
Yeah, Popeyes fries.
Popeyes got some good fries.
You're right about that.
I love-
McDonald's is one though. There's two. Yeah.
What can we do to just make it pop, to make it dope, you know, make it like the place, like not like any other place here in the Bronx.
The Bronx, a cultural hub of New York, which despite its historically gritty reputation has and continues to turn out refined offerings in the arts, music, and fashion, like Amari's Brouillon. The native Bronxite and fashion designer draws inspiration from his surroundings, in particular, his community. Brouillon and his sister aligned their fashion goals and opened up a shop in the South Bronx, fittingly named Bronx Native.
The Bronx has taught me everything I know. You know, it's made me who I am today. I get inspired by the Bronx every day. And the Bronx inspired me to create this brand. It's taught me to work hard. You know, here in the Bronx, we live in the struggle. We live in the hustle, the grind. And it's taught me to be tough, you know what I mean? To not only survive, but live life. You know, this is a tough world out here. You know, there's a saying that says only the strong survive. And I believe that.
Walking into the quaint shop, you're instantly surrounded by collages of hip-hop culture, graffiti art, and vivid symbolism of the Bronx. Brouillon explained how he wanted to share a part of the community he grew up in with the world, so he opened it up to the public by creating an interactive space.
People don't only come here to buy merchandise, they come here to chill, to tag up, to you know, share a drink, to share, you know, an experience with other people. And, you know, it's really dope. Let people tag up, you know what I mean? Let's let people leave their mark. And it has literally become a beautiful, like, communal, you know, come together of, like, the Bronx. And, it, you know, it becomes an experience.
Although I'm not from the Bronx, Amari's let me tag the wall too. Being a proud millennial, I left my Instagram handle. You'll feel nostalgic as you look through the assortment of hats and tees. This is because much of Bronx Native's gear is references to pop culture and moments in hip-hop. Amari's explains the idea behind some of his most popular items.
We utilize a lot of pop culture in our designs, right? So definitely taking things that may be already in the world and just putting that Bronx twist to it. Remember Drake when he came up with Hotline Bling, and the design for it was 1-800 Hotline Bling, 1-800 Hotline Bling, you know what I mean? So I kept going, I was like, yo, what if we just take that same design, but just put the Bronx, the Bronx, the Bronx, the Bronx, Bronx. And it's, you know, it's one of our first designs actually. And it's still one of our best ones that a lot of people gravitate to and buy it.
You can't mention pop culture in the Bronx without mentioning 26-year-old rapper and success story, Cardi B.
I don't dance now, I make money moves.
Brouillon has big goals for Cardi to wear a special shirt designed in her likeness.
She said this quote on TV once, I'm just a regular girl from the Bronx. And we was like, yo, let's just put it on a shirt, you know what I mean? And then the back kind of got like a look, you know, that BX attitude. Hopefully, we can get one of these to Cardi B and she can wear it and she could put it on, you know?
Bronx Native has quickly become more than a clothing store, and Brouillon is leaving his mark on his home borough by catering to the arts. The brand hosts regular open mics and a book club. Bronx Native is planning to extend their new line in the new year to feature more items. If you want to collaborate with Brouillon or check out their merch, visit bronxnative.com. Reporting for BronxNet, Darissa White.
Well, thank you, Darissa. Savor the Bronx, the borough's restaurant week officially kicks off today and is taking place until January the 19th. Let's take a look. Here's a preview of all the restaurants participating.
Okay, so travesias means to travel or journey. That's the literal translation. Well, I'm born and raised in the South Bronx, Hunts Point area. Over the last 6 to 7 years, I've actually been traveling all over the world, and I've brought back a lot of different recipes, spices, culinary techniques and styles from around the world. And instead of opening a traditional Mexican or Cuban or Dominican restaurant, I actually did a Latin fusion. So a lot of our plates here are Latin Asian, Latin Indian, Latin combinations. It's a real fun menu. We say that there's something for everybody. We have everything from pastas to steaks to burgers to tapas from with different types of flavors and styles. One of our top selling appetizers, called the chimi slider, is actually a fusion between Dominican, which is a chimichurri, which is a Dominican street burger, and patacon from Venezuela, which is, they usually make a lot of sandwiches with tostones, which is mashed plantains. Everyone's been very supportive, everybody's very happy. They're very interested in what we have to offer as far as the type of cuisine, very different. We've had, most recently, Mayor Bill de Blasio. Ruben Diaz is one of his favorite spots to come to. Well, I would like to welcome everyone to Travesias and come find out what we're about. An experience here at Travesias. It's definitely not just going out to eat. It's a very small restaurant. We have about 65 seats. It's a very cozy, friendly, for a regular, like a date night or a night out with friends. I always say this is like a place you can bring your mother.
And the Morris Park community gathered for a look at the new Metro North station set to come to their community and the impact it will have potentially have. Arlene Makoko has a story.
You then take the bus and you take the train.
Call it an interactive studio. The Morris Park community was invited by the city to the Einstein College of Medicine at Lubin Hall to share their ideas and thoughts through guided activities found around the room on the new Metro North train stop to come to their neighborhood, just one of 4 slated for construction in the East Bronx.
This is a transformative investment, not only for the residents of the Bronx and around the station area, but for the entire city. And it really will reduce commute times, take additional cars off the road, and provide opportunities and connections to job centers for Bronx and New York City residents.
For Michael Cass, who commutes to Connecticut from Morris Park and who uses the Select 12 bus to get to the MTA's Fordham stop, he's looking forward to one right near his front door.
I think I could cut maybe 30 minutes off my commute. That would be great.
Awesome.
More time to spend with my family.
What do you think about this whole proposal?
I think it's a great idea.
Also participating, Claudia Gomez from Allerton, who uses the Metro North's New York Botanical Garden stop. She says this one is more convenient, but shared her reservations with city planners.
He asked, what would you want to see in this area? And I said, well, for one, you would need more lighting.
Also weighing in, the business community, Joseph Kelleher, chairman of the Bronx Chamber of Commerce and manager of the Hutchinson Metro Center that houses a portion of the estimated 15,000 to 20,000 jobs in the area, says the new stop will generate further growth.
As these train stations become a reality, the economic development around those areas, the expansion of potential residential, attracting new businesses and improving infrastructure, this is a game changer for this borough.
There's been considerable job growth in the past few years, and we're thinking that the Metro North Station is an important way in which to connect people who don't think about this place as a job center, well, to support where we have today and to think about the future. And transit's an important way in which we're going to be able to connect these job centers to talent.
I've seen the renderings. I think it's going to be a real asset.
He is concerned, however, with the traffic. Albert D'Angelo, chairman of Community Board 11, gave high marks for the new stop, but says the city's proposed road diet plan could create traffic challenges around the new station.
Morris Park is a main thoroughfare. If you slow that down to a crawl, you're going to first hurt businesses, hurt traffic. Why don't they wait till the train station goes in and see how it would affect it before they rush to judgment on what the community needs?
These post-it notes, evidence of a community engaged. The city plans to collect all these items and put them to use as they work to finalize plans for the future Morris Park Metro North stop. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
We'll take a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. We'll be right back with Bobby C's Sports Roundup. Watch out.
the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
We ended 2018 with the top 10 sports stories of the year. We will begin 2019 with the top 10 sports predictions of the coming year. Coming in at number 10, I left the Golden State Warriors off the best of 2018, but I wouldn't dare do the same in 2019. I see Golden State raising the banner again, doing so in the final season at Oracle. The Dubs have had the league in a chokehold since the 2014-15 season. They have reached the NBA Finals in 4 consecutive seasons and had 2 seasons of 67 wins, along with 1 record-breaking season of 73. 3 championships in 4 seasons will soon become 4 over 5. Over the course of this 4-year stretch, the Warriors won more regular season games than any other team in NBA history. The regular season success translated quickly to the postseason as they are fresh off back-to-back titles and their 3rd championship in 4 years. At number 9, Warriors star Kevin Durant entertains the New York Knicks in free agency and actually does the unthinkable. KD leaves Golden State and signs a massive contract with the Orange and Blue, breaking up the Golden State dynasty. Durant's free agency move starts a domino that includes Kawhi Leonard inking with the LA Clippers. Durant becomes the biggest NBA story of the 2019 summer. The year kicks off with another free agency splash in baseball. Manny Machado becomes the Yankees' newest acquisition position, but not at shortstop, rather at third base. After the Bronx Bombers inked Troy Tulowitzki, the Yanks then moved Rookie of the Year runner-up Miguel Andujar to first base. Manny grabs the 8th spot on my list of top 10 sports predictions for 2019. The 7th spot belongs to the New Orleans Saints. While Machado headlines the sports stories in January, the Saints do so in February as they go on to win the Super Bowl in Atlanta. The Who Dat Saints enter the NFL playoffs as the NFC's top seed and a prohibitive favorite to capture the Super Bowl championship. They follow through on being the favorites behind Drew Brees and their powerful offense. Brees had an MVP-worthy season, completing an NFL record 74.4% of his passes for 3,992 yards and 32 touchdowns to go with a mere 5 interceptions. He threw for over 300 yards 6 times this year, but only twice during the last half of the season. Brees goes on to win the Super Bowl MVP too. Coming in at number 6 after Brees and the Saints wrap the NFL season with a title, the New York Jets rule the offseason. Gang Green puts the biggest full-court press in their history on Le'Veon Bell and finally convinced him that he can do with Sam Darnold what he did in Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger. Of course, it also takes 6 years and $100 million to get it done. The Jets also shore up their roster with the 3rd pick in the NFL draft and make the postseason in 2019. The New York Giants do the same this upcoming season, protecting Eli Manning a bit better, snatching Alabama's Jonah Williams with the 6th pick in the NFL draft. The star offensive lineman helps Manning, Saquon Barkley, and Odell Beckham Jr. spearhead an offense that goes on to win 9 games. The G-men grab my 5th spot on the top 10 sports predictions of 2019. At number 4, Fernando Alonso joins legendary race car driver Graham Hill as the only 2 to win the Triple Crown of motorsport. Alonso will win the 2019 Indianapolis 500, the 2-time Formula One world champion who retired from F1 at the end of the 2018 season, set himself the target of winning motorsport's unofficial Triple Crown, the Monaco Grand Prix, Le Mans 24, and the Indy 500. Alonso won Monaco twice and triumphed at Le Mans on his first attempt in 2018. 2019 brings home the Indy 500 for Alonso. The Baseball Hall of Fame welcomes Mariano Rivera in 2019 as he becomes the first unanimous selection in history. The Yankee great and arguably the greatest closer of all time headlines the induction class in July. How could he not? 13 All-Star games, a World Series MVP, an ALCS MVP, an All-Star Game MVP, 5 AL Rolaids Relief Awards, first all-time in saves, 5 World Series rings, etc., etc., etc. For about almost 2 decades, it was practically game over when Mo took the mound with a lead, and his consistent excellence often included 4- and 5-out innings, which is almost unheard of anymore. Mo takes the 3rd spot on my list. Coming in at number 2, I gave you the champ in the NBA and the NFL. How about the next team to hoist the Stanley Cup? I'll take the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2019. Toronto didn't make it past the first round of 17-18 in the playoffs after a 7-game loss to its rival, the Boston Bruins, and they haven't won more than a single postseason series since 2003-04. They added the NHL's hottest free agent and 5-time All-Star and former Islander John Tavares, one of the NHL's premier scorers, to a group of up-and-comers. With Tavares coming home to Canada, Toronto wins it all. And my number 1 sports prediction for 2019, drum roll please, Zion Williamson leads Duke to the national championship and turns pro, of course, after his freshman season on the college hardwood. Where does Zion land? Right here in New York. The Knicks add Durant and Zion Williamson for the first time in 34 years. The ping pong balls go their way again, and the Knicks get the number 1 pick. With Kristaps Porzingis, Kevin Durant, and Zion Williamson on the roster, the Knicks go from cellar dwellers to the top of the NBA playoff picture right away. What do you think of my list? Calling all prognosticators. Chime in on social media. Let me know which predictions you're buying and which ones you're selling for 2019. I'm Bobby C. Stay with us. More after this.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
We're going to heat things up right about now. Welcome back. Our next guest has brought Bikram Yoga. Bikram Yoga. It's the Boogie Down Bronx. And joins us for a look at this form of exercise and how it affects the mind, body, and let's throw in the spirit too. We have our girl here, Jane Kartsch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, we were talking off mic. I've been to a place where you go in to the yoga spot and you better wear something comfortable because they're gonna heat things up. And sometimes the temperatures can go as high as what? Over 100 degrees.
104
right?
degrees.
Woo!
40% humidity.
40%
That's the prescription.
Humidity. That's it right there, right?
Mhm.
You have a fever, 104 degrees.
No.
Fever temperatures.
No, you sweat out all your stress, all your troubles, all your cares, and you feel great.
How does that work now?
Well,
for somebody who's never done it before, what do you recommend?
I recommend you, it's all for beginners. We are the most democratic form of yoga in that everyone can do it, no matter how old you are, no matter how sick, how broken. You walk into that room, everybody's equal. It's always the same 26 postures and 2 breathing exercises.
26 postures.
2 breathing exercises. And
breathing.
an hour and a half, 90 minutes, and you come out and you're a new person. You feel wonderful. Your sense of yourself is there. You've worked every single thing in your body down to the cellular level. Yoga works by compression and extension.
Compression and extension.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you know how many, I'll say miles, of blood system you have in your body, of blood transportation system, vessels?
Vessels?
Take a guess.
Over a few miles.
Okay, 100,000 miles.
100,000 miles.
adult.
Whoa. Imagine if you were a microbe and you were able to travel that.
Well, that's what the blood does. And then how long do you think it takes to go from your heart around your body back to your heart?
That's a circulatory
guess,
system.
Right. How long?
How long? One hour?
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
So in 20 seconds...
You got a good heart. I like you.
In 20 seconds, your blood is traveling the fastest speed to travel 100,000 miles through your body to get back. So that's what Bikram Yoga does. It works on the 20-second interval. So you do a posture, you compress part of your body, and then you let it go and rest, and the blood circulation. Your blood circulation is really what heals you. So your blood circulation takes away all the toxins from your organs, from your cells, and replenishes with fresh blood. Because we start with a breathing exercise that really works all your lungs and gets all this oxygen into your body.
It comes out of your body. Toxins come out of your body through your sweat.
Through your sweat.
Yeah.
And through crying, through peeing, through
going
all
to the
those
bath,
things. Everything that comes out is all the toxins in your body.
Look at that.
So
how many times a week do you have to do that?
You can do it every day. I have people that come every single day. I do it about 4 times a week. I started doing it because I was a teacher in the Bronx. I retired in 2004. But before that,
Thank you
I
for your
had.
service.
Thank you. I just love the Bronx. So I taught at Kennedy High School and Clinton.
Oh, wow.
So
I have great memories. Okay,
go ahead.
we'll talk afterwards.
Okay. So one day I was walking into school, I broke my foot and just totally tore up my knees. Plus I was a runner before that. So I was supposed to have knee surgery. I went, my son took me to a class in Los Angeles. So I went every day for a month. After that month, never had to have knee surgery. I was fine.
Wow.
So most people come. I mean, it turned me onto it. So then I retired from teaching and went to be a Bikram Yoga teacher. So what turned me on is how it helped me. So I just saw that I could help so many other people. And most people that come in to take class come because they have an injury and they know the heat is going to help them feel better.
So you got a lot of athletes coming to you also.
A lot of athletes,
Yeah.
basketball players.
So you can heal up fast.
Yes, yes. Yeah. We need more athletes. We need high school kids to come because it would really benefit them, not only the physical part, but the emotional, the mental part. Because for 90 minutes you stand on one spot, stare at yourself in a mirror, and you move. And most athletes that come in, they go, that's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, you have to discipline yourself
You
to be
have
able to do that.
discipline. It's the discipline that helps you.
Wow, and it's hot as hell.
It's hot
like it
as
says on
hell.
your T-shirt.
Yes, yes. So when I retired from teaching at Kennedy, I'm like, I knew that the Bronx was the most unhealthy county in the country. So I'm like, I want to do something, give back. So I opened up the studio. It's at 230th and Broadway. And from the very beginning, it was packed with people.
Wow.
So we've been there for 10 years.
Yeah. What makes Bikram so unique?
It's the prescription. It's the same 26 postures every single time you come, done in the same order, and it works every system in your body.
What's the first posture?
It's a breathing exercise.
Okay, do one.
Okay, you start like this, you inhale, and then you exhale. You do 10 and 10.
That'll clear out your lungs also.
Well, we normally only use like 30% of our lungs, 30% of our brains. This helps you get the oxygen down to the bottom, where most of the exchange happens anyway.
Look at that. And so what's number 2?
Number 2 is called half moon.
You think I'm going to go all the way to 26?
You can. I'll do it.
Okay.
Half moon.
Half moon?
Is you stand up and you start to stretch the spine, and you just move like this, and then like this, and then backwards, and then forward. Then we systematically go through, there's a standing series that systematically goes through opening all the joints and getting your heart rate up so that the blood...
arthritis and everything? And
beautiful for arthritis, people with back issues. And then after the standing series, which gets your heart rate up, we go to the floor series, which really squeezes the organs.
Gotcha.
And compresses the organs.
So that helps to get the toxic materials out of your body, out of your organs.
Going to the doctor and getting a prescription because it's systematic and it works down to the cellular level.
And then that throws everything into the bloodstream that's circulating, and then you sweat, you excrete all of that
Doesn't it sound
toxic
good?
stuff out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So besides that, we have an amazing community there. Everyone is friendly, gets along. Like I say, it's just everyone, it's so happy there.
Yeah, and you come out of there feeling
wonderful.
Like where do we go for more information?
My website, BikramYogaBronx.com. And there's a short video, and we have a special in January, $30 for 30 days. Unlimited.
$30 for 30 days.
We have Bikram Yoga, we do hot Pilates, and we do Yin Yoga, which is a quieter, slower form of yoga.
What's Pilates?
Pilates is where you do certain exercises to tighten the core, to strengthen your core, which is also very good.
Thank you so much.
So I'll see you there then.
Yeah. You have a website?
Yes, BikramYogaBronx.com.
Thank you, Jane. Give Jane a big round of applause. Jane Kartsch.
Thank you.
Bikram Yoga, Bronx.
Thank
All right, unfortunately, Jane, that's all the time we have for today's show. Did I do it right? You'll teach me the other steps later.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you all guests for joining us and you for tuning in and checking it all out. You can catch an all-new cablecast tonight at 5 at 10 p.m. Or you can watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. Or, guess what? You can tune in Wednesday, and Darren Jaime comes in with a new episode of Open. Thank you so much for all of us here at BronxNet. Have a great and enjoyable day. And always remember this, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. Happy New Year. Love you all. Peace.